Hi everyone, this is Camilla with No More Hamster Wheel, and today we're going to dive into something that we all experience at various times in our lives, and especially when we're trying to take the next step or we're about to have a change or we really want to pursue something, and that is that feeling of fear, that feeling of being afraid of taking the next step because it's uncomfortable, and we all deal with that. But the thing is that I don't want that to be holding you back from pursuing what you really want to do, because we can actually work through it. And I'm not talking about the kind of fear when, an animal is about to attack you or you're not really sure about this person approaching you. I'm not talking about that kind of fear. I'm talking about the kind of fear that is holding you back from pursuing your life and living your fullest potential. So what are the things that we can do in order to work through this thing? First of all, acknowledge the fear. Acknowledge the fact that you are feeling fear and that you're afraid of taking the next step and that you're not really sure and you have that, I am scared of doing this. Acknowledge it and don't just try to do what some people say, well, you should just ignore it. Just ignore it and it will go away. You know how it is that when you try to ignore something, it grows, the elephant grows into the room, and that makes it worse. So acknowledge the fact that you're scared of taking the next step. The next thing to do is to say, why am I scared? Why do I feel this fear? Why am I feeling so uncomfortable asking this person out? Why do I feel so uncomfortable, telling my family I want to do this? Why do I feel so uncomfortable trying to apply for a new job? Well, it's because maybe you are scared to be rejected. Maybe you're scared that your family's not going to be supportive and they're going to laugh at you or make fun of you. Maybe you're afraid that the person is going to say no. Maybe you're afraid of putting yourself out there because you have this, well, who am I to be out there in the world and talk to people? Maybe you're afraid to speak in front of people. Whatever that is, acknowledge it, that you're feeling scared, and then identify why you are scared. Now you have something you can deal with. Now you say, well, what are we going to do? We are simply going to look at the next thing. Quite often we are creating what I call assumption-based realities. We create a future reality that is based on assumptions. You don't have a crystal ball where you can look into the future. You don't know what your family will say. You don't know what that person will say. You don't know that you're going to be rejected. You don't know that you're going to be laughed at. You create that based on assumptions. Now, sometimes it can be, well, the last 5 times I told my family I wanted to do this, they were all laughing at me. So you may have a little bit of a background there, but what says that they're going to laugh at you this time? And maybe it's not going to be like that this time around because you don't have a crystal ball. You cannot look into the future. So we're going to stop making assumptions about what's going to happen. I don't eat KFC, but I love the story of KFC and Colonel Sanders, who had, this dream about putting his chicken recipe into every home in America at the time. And he was rejected over 1,000 times. I mean, talk about persistence and grit and determination. He did not wake up in the morning and say, well, based on the past, I assume I'm going to get a no today. He just said, hey, today is the day I'm going to get a yes. Because he couldn't see into the future, so he just had to make an assumption that he was going to get a yes, which is then a okay thing to do. Assume that you're going to get a yes. Assume that you're going to get an okay. Assume that people are not going to laugh at you instead of the opposite. We're always focusing on the negatives over the positives. We assume that it's not going to work because we have all the people say, well, 9 out of 10 businesses fail. Well, what if you are the one business that actually succeeds? Well, you cannot be a successful author without millions of followers, or you can't write a book unless you have a secluded cabin somewhere. Really? That's a false assumption, right? That's the kind of assumption that I'm talking about. What is the next thing that we should do? Create a plan. There are so many people right now that are fearful, the economy, like what's going on in the world, and everyone's like, oh my gosh, the world's going to come crashing down on me. And I'm like, well, here's the thing. What are you doing about it? Are you creating a plan to minimize the obstacles, to minimize the negatives as much as possible? Are you creating a plan on how you're going to survive certain things? Are you planning for that or not? Same thing. Maybe you say, well, Camilla, I have now been to 10 interviews and I have never been called back for my second interview, even though I know I'm perfect. What is going on? Well, have you created a plan on how to fix that? Maybe you need to call a couple of companies and talk to the HR people and say, could you just, can I just sit down with you for a few minutes and find out what I was doing that prevented you from taking me to the next round? Maybe you need to work with a recruiter and improve your interview skills. What if you have a plan, you have a seasonal, or maybe you have a business that is very dependent on economy? What are you doing now to prepare for a potential downturn? What are the things that you need to learn in order to get to the next step? Do you have a plan for that? If you want to write a book, what are you doing? Are you sitting down and scheduling in to write your book every day? Are you connecting with other authors in order to figure out how to publish your book and how to successfully get it out in the world? What are you doing in order to successfully get what you want? You need to create a plan for that. And so you can go on to the next level that you want to go to. Plan, people. It's very simple. Make a plan. Next thing is we're going to go for it. We're simply going to go for it because here is the thing. Could you imagine if all of the people that were scared about doing something, we wouldn't have airplanes, we wouldn't have cars, we wouldn't be anywhere. We would be still living in a cave with a club, in order to get our food or whatever. What if all of the people that were scared of doing something didn't go for it? We just would sit around at home and shrivel away, right? We just simply got to go for it. A great friend of mine gave me the best advice. When I was like, okay, when should I take the leap and start my own business? And he said, here's a great thing to ask yourself anytime you're kind of uncertain if you should take that step or not, is what's the worst that can happen? What is the worst that can happen? And if you're okay with that answer, go for it. After all, what's the worst that can happen? You want to write a book? What's the worst that can happen? You have written a book and then you're going to figure out how to publish it. What's the worst that can happen if you say, hey, I want to do this, and someone laughs at you? Is that really so bad? Okay, that person maybe didn't understand. I guarantee you have laughed at someone at some point when they came up with some idea. We got to simply go for it. But we also got to get this. We need to find support. Today, there's so many online groups. You have free Facebook, you have meetup.com where you can go and join people trying to do the stuff that you're trying to do. There's so many people all trying to do what you want to do. So connect with them in various groups. And maybe that's where you need to get your support, because maybe your family isn't supportive, or maybe your friends aren't that supportive. So you simply don't talk to them about what you're trying to do, but you find that outside support. Also, connect with people who have already done what you want to do successfully, and connect with them and say, hey, I just would love to take you out for lunch and ask you a few questions on how I should proceed so that I can successfully try, do what I want to do. There's so many people out there that have done what you are trying to do. Tap into their knowledge and resource, because there's someone behind you that you would help if they asked you, right? That's the circle that we're in. We've got to help each other get to the next level. That's why I'm recording these videos, to try to help you through certain things that I have worked through and learned as I am on this journey to help other people. So go for it, because your voice is needed out there. You deserve to be happy. You deserve to live in your full potential and go like, I love my life. That is what I truly want for you. And I know you want that too. So don't let fear hold you back. Work through the fear, acknowledge it. Ask yourself why you're feeling what you're feeling. Now you have something to work with, something tangible. Then realize that you often assume things that are not true, and look at the positive. Look at the it's going to work instead of it's not going to work. Any of those little negative Nancy people, just say, hey, thank you for your advice, bless you, and then listen to the people that have successfully done what you're trying to do. Find the support and just go for it and make a plan. I want you to stop spinning and start living. I love doing these videos for you, even though I'm scared of videos. I have avoided this for quite some time. So I said, why am I really so scared of doing video? Just gonna do it, right? So go out there and do it, because you deserve to be happy. You deserve to start living. If you have any questions that you want me to cover in these videos, just make a comment below, or send me an email at camilla@nomorehamsterwheel.com. Let me know. I am also starting a paid mastermind that's going to be online. It's kind of going to be mastermind / coaching. I'm only going to allow 50 people in to make it small and really intimate, so we can really, really get to know each other. But we are going to kick butt and make tons of awesome stuff happen in 2017. If you want to join that, click on the link below. If it's not there, then it's full. But whatever you do, go out there, find your group, join a free online group, join Meetup, find your people that will be there to help you and support you, and ask people ahead of you how they did that. Because you can do it. I know you can. Don't let fear hold you back from what you really, really want to do in life, because you want to end your life, towards the, like when you kick in the bucket, you want to have as few regrets or no regrets as possible. Go out there and start living. It's time to stop spinning and time to start living. Talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.